Namaste, my my friend. I read your message, and I'm sorry to read that message. This fraud is going on since the COVID started. Majority of the people have started. Majority of the people have started working online and into the computer, and that causes the problem. So that causes lot of problems. I will just restart it and then we will record it. So please hold on. So, namaste, my friend. I read your message and I was concerned. These frauds and scams takes place so rampant in our country, and we have to be little bit careful. And then what happens? We have to we have to accept and see that another layer of security, another clarity, another level of awareness and attention by which we conduct our business should be done. But if I'm aware, it means I'm in peace, I'm in happiness, I'm in love because it helps me to live in a higher awareness. So today we are going to understand there are four levels of identifications, and the moment we identify, it results into attachment. Attachment results into emotional dependence. It causes the delusion. Then I don't see what is right and what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. And after the delusion, it causes the suffering to all of our life. So I have already changed the entire journey in this year: peace, happiness, love. So the first is the peace, is an internal state of the stillness and the tranquility of the mind, not merely the absence of external conflicts. See the two people are fighting, so I get attached to that fight. I identify, then the peace will be disturbed. But if I don't identify, peace is still maintained. Whether these people are my relations or friends or strangers or enemies, it means that peace will continue to remain with me. Are you understanding? It is the state of inner calm we discussed, where the mind is no longer disturbed by, first, by the world outside and by the influx of the thoughts. Why the thought comes? Why there is an influx of thought? For example, a simple example, this man in New Jersey whose home is very almost borders the fire station. Now his mind is constantly thinking, now the fire station will blow the horn, now the fire station will blow the horn. Now, what you're doing? Why your mind is repeating? Why there is an influx of thoughts? And ultimately, the horn starts and he gets upset. So when we have a repeat thoughts and feeling and emotions, repeat thought, feeling and emotions, I identify myself with anything. It may be a fire station, it may be a person, it may be an attack, it may be a relations or a money matter or anything. And that causes the problem. And that disturbs the peace. But the peace inside is still there. It hides behind these thought, feeling, and emotions. And now the time has come that you recognize. You recognize the influx of thoughts, keep it aside, you are already in calm. So when you are in calmness and peace, then the happiness and the joy also manifest from you within. Happiness is not a pleasure, it is not a temporary emotion coming from outside, coming from eating the pasta or talking to someone who appreciates me. It has nothing to do with it. It is inside you. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. That is the coaching of the Eastern wisdom. It is a reflection of our innate state, innate joy, and inherent a sense of completeness I experience when you have an inner happiness. When the happiness expresses itself after the peace, it is an inherent. It doesn't go away so easily. But if the pleasure is temporary happiness or pleasure comes from outside, then it has to go. Then we are scared. Oh, it has already gone. What should I do now? So it means then I have to constantly chase that person, that relation, that food. Constant chasing is identification. Understand it clearly. We are going a little deeper. That is where the identification comes. At the time of the birth, did I identify myself? Example, with the pasta or the food that we like? No. But at the time of the birth, we all were identified with the milk. Milk is not there, we started crying. Identification. So in the childhood, identification is okay to learn something. But when we become mature and the identification continues, that causes unnecessary, unwanted problems in your life. Am I clear? So now you have the peace, you have the happiness. So when there is a foundation for inner peace and calmness and inner joy, it blossoms into so-called unconditional love. And unconditional love expresses itself all the time in the form of a compassion. And when that compassion is present in your mind all the time, in all the situations, in all the locations, because it is coming from inside you, you are free from suffering. You are free from anger and hesitation. Because now, because of the compassion, that compassion forces the mind to perceive the peace and the joy in every situation. It is not impacting you. It is not the fire station which continuously blows the horn and you get disturbed. I have reasons to believe about this guy. I don't know, but it's basically a group session that when I self hesitate my mind because of that sound and the noise, so that puts me into anxiety, reaction, anger, and hesitation. So they have been accumulated, and he had a heart problem. I don't know, but I have reasons to believe. Medical doctors diagnose in their own way. We have our own diagnosis because I'm identifying. Did you understand the word identification? I identify myself. There is another way. Check that how many thoughts about a particular person or event, like Christmas, in your case. Your mind keeps on thinking, well, now the Christmas is coming, I have to host and I have to prepare. No, but then what will happen if I end? You see, that is the process of identification. When the mind identifies the journey of the struggle, suffering, ignorance, hesitation, greed, etc. begins. And that disturbs our life completely. Identification. Now, this is a practical examples, but if I define the identification occurs when a mind clings to the false association with external object, people, idea, relations. You are a leader, you are clinging to the false association, you lose the leadership quality. You are a mother, you cling to the false association with your children, you will not be able to maintain your calm and peace. Clinging, I'm saying clinging, thought, feeling, emotions. They are being repeated about a particular. Are you getting it? I believe you are getting it. That's a very important principle in the Eastern wisdom. Anything I cling to, clinging, false association. What happens in false association, I keep on thinking about mind what you're thinking about the Christmas again and again and again. Or if you want to think, then think rightly. What I have to think, and I have to host a dinner or a lunch, whatever it is. I have to cook these foods. Engage your mind in what is right, what I'm supposed to do, not to prevent. Did you complete? Can you complete the sentence? Not to prevent the worries and the anxiety in the future that do not exist. My friend, clearly remember the moment you're worried, you are into anxiety. How is that anxiety or worry exist? No, that does not. Then mind why you are worried, why you are repeating, why you are thinking. You have to say to your mind, fraud has been committed. Can you correct that fraud? Do you have a plan? Are you clear? Yes, in some areas we can stop that fraud. Sometime it happened to me last year or 2 years ago. Then I wrote to their credit card company and they returned all the money to me. They said, we will take care of this fraud, so because it is our fault. But in some cases, if I have committed a fault, then it cannot be corrected. So should I continue to think and worry about the future? No, I should take a precautionary measure and finished. So now I believe you have understood the identification. On one hand, we have understood peace, happiness, and love. So what prevents this peace, happiness, and love to manifest in our life daily, in relations with people, etc. Identification. So we are starting going deeper into the understanding of the identification. I made it very clear. So identification can entangle the mind, leading to suffering and inner turmoil. Understanding these different levels of identification. Now I'm moving to the next level. There are many levels of identification, yes. So you have not to get into complex thinking that I should not identify with anything else. You identify with your house, and the house is not causing any problem. It's okay. Where is the problem? At least if I don't identify with where my house is located, how can I return to my home after work? How can I identify, oh, here is my car? But that does not cause any problem. You park the car and you forget where you have parked the car, and then you started looking into the parking lot. You find it. It's okay. It's part. It's a journey. I will find it. Am I clear? So there are neutral identifications. It's okay. So we are understanding identification, the types of identification, and how the problem enters into our head. It makes our life hell. Identification is a psychological uh, concept that refers to the process where individuals associate our sense of I-ness with external objects, ideas, roles leading to a fixed perception. It becomes very rigid perception. And once it becomes a rigid perception, I keep on repeating it, means my mind keeps on repeating it, and then I enter into the stress. Why the It results into attachment that we have just understood, and attachment, then emotional dependency, then delusion, and then delusion, then ignorance, and then suffering, then dissatisfaction. One identification causes so much of problem in our daily life that hides peace, happiness, and love. Neutral identifications are the baseline level of attachment, representing associations with material possessions or external circumstances that do not provide significant emotional dependence. They are neutral. My car, my home, my phone. Oh, where I kept my phone. I'm into anxiety. And then I know where I have kept somewhere else, and I found it. Neutral. It doesn't cause long lasting issues of the stress, anxiety, reaction, and duality. Where I live, natural identifiers. Occupation. What's your occupation? No, this is the work I do. Oh, simple. And neutral. So we have also the personal identifications. Personal identifications, pay attention to it. It moves beyond the neutral identifications to more emotional attachment. Should I get worried that I have gray beard? I tell everyone, look at this. This is a 66-year-old machine. Have you seen any machine which works forever? Did you not replace your car? Did you not replace your other gadgets in the home? Can this machine continues to be forever? If you reflect on this, treating the body as a machine, that fear of the death also minimizes. But there are personal identifications that I believe you have it. So we are digging deep inside. Are you comfortable? I believe so. Yes, you are comfortable with me. Parental roles. A person may identify as a mother, as a father, depending or basing my self identity on the parenting experiences. And if their children grow up and distance themselves, it can cause feelings of loss and inadequacy. I am responsible for it as a mother, as a father. Personal identifications. We are going deeper. I noticed that in you. And that is why I'm opening up. So think that, what we have done and what we are going to do now. So once you understand that my children has grown up and they are keeping a distance from me, and it causes a feeling of loss or inadequacy or a kind of a frustration, personal identification, I have to get rid of it. I have to think of it. Why I have to think of it? When I got married, I also distanced myself with my parents. Friendship groups. Another problem you have, challenges. Identifying as a part of a specific group, friend group, may breed insecurities regarding acceptance and belongingness. Changes within the group. Changes within the group. Now I stop going to the group. Changes within the group, or somebody else comes who don't appreciate me. Changes within the group can trigger feelings of loneliness and abandonment. Are you realizing that these are the basic fundamental problems in your life causing you the anxiety and the reaction? If you deal with it, you'll be free. Well, if you don't have it, let me know. There are many personal identifications, but I'm just talking about only two or three. Achievements or idealism. Holding strong to identify formed via personal accomplishment can result in fear of failure. What is your job? What I'm supposed to do? Think, contemplate, reflect. How many hours I have to do? Okay, this is what the problem is, and this is the solution in your profession. Don't poke your nose in other profession. In your profession, what you are supposed to do, you do it correctly. That is your achievement, which we don't notice. We don't notice, and other people don't appreciate. You're doing everything good according to the principles and the laws of the land. So where is the problem? But I'm seeking an appreciation, personal identifications. Two categories I have cleared. Third category, we can take third category also. There is ideological identifications, deep-rooted belief and ideologies from the basis of that also forms the basis of my identity. Individuals become enmeshed in their value system, political belief, and other convictions, leading to polarization and conflict in you. So we are creating a conflict within ourselves. Political allegiances, identifying strongly with a political party, might restrict my ability to listen and engage with those holding opposing views. Or you can just put it, politics in the family. Don't get attached. Daughter says, you are good. Yes, I'm good. Thank you. Son says, I'm not good. Thank you very much. And I appreciate. So I will think it over. Don't allow those thoughts to repeat in your mind, which will cause identification and is leading you to anxiety reaction. Are you understanding that? Are you recognizing that? Are you realizing that? That is the problem. Religious affiliations, social movement. Hmm, we are not going there because we don't belong to either religious affiliation or social movement. Then there is a fourth level of identification, which I say the existential identifications. Existential. They are very profound and complex. Find out if you have. When individuals identifies or with abstract concepts such as being and success, failure, unnecessary. We keep on thinking if I fail, if I, but, and if. Get rid of those things. You're living a good life. You have everything, all the resources in your life at your disposal. How long you are going to have identification with your achievement? Everyone knows your profession. You are an expert in this. You have worked for more than 20 years. And still I'm expecting. Do you see that? Don't expect. You do your work, finished. Another problem, we believe that my freedom is equal to a complete autonomy. Complete control over what I am doing, what is my profession. It is not possible. I had a young guy, 16 years old boy, whose dad fixed an appointment from Chicago or somewhere else, which the difference between 1 hour. So I sent an invitation and I said, let us meet there. So there's a 1 hour difference. I was waiting. He is not coming. After half an hour, I stopped it. Now he sent an email. I was waiting. So he started at 6 and I started at 5. So he said, I waited for you half an hour. And I also said that I waited for you half an hour. And then I realized the mistake. And I said, every time I send you the invitation, it is received in your email. You have to click yes. The moment you click yes, the time difference will be shown there. Problem solved. Existential identifications. So you see that we have understood first we have understood there are different levels of identification: neutral identification, personal identification, ideological identification, existential. If you get rid of these identifications on a given day, you're free. So now we will understand what are those four types of identifications. We identify with the body, we identify with our sense organs, we identify with our mind, and we identify with our ego. And these four types of identification, how it works in our personal, professional, social, and family life. Personal identification with the body in the personal life. So we will categorize them, body identification, sense identification, ego identification, mind identification in my personal life. Did you get it? And then we will go with the same identification in our professional life. Like a bird obsessed with the color of its feathers. If the bird is obsessed with the color of its feathers, then it is going to neglect its ability to fly. I found a lady, he was very much obsessed over the wrinkles, leading to a low self esteem. And it was very difficult for her, the acceptance of the self. What it has to do with the self, it's a body. You can get rid of these identifications by contemplation and reflection. So, what happens if I have an obsession over the wrinkles? First, if the self esteem is gone, and then this identification limits my self worth to physical appearance, ignoring my inner qualities like peace and happiness and love or kindness and compassion and creativity. I know you are a wonderful person with also a sense of kindness and calmness and peace. So you that is hidden, that hides behind these identifications. What is the reason? Ignorance. Why this is ignorance? Because I believe that external beauty defines self-worth. You see, unorganized beard and other things. You are still listening to me. What is the impact? Impact is obsession. Obsession with appearance, low self-esteem. And that is one of the reasons, one of many reasons of eating disorder, anxiety, reaction, anger, and hesitation. In our personal life, we are talking about identification with our body. Let us see identification with the emotions. Identification with emotions. What is identification with an emotion? Identification with emotions. A ship tossed about by every wave, losing its direction. There is identification. The moment you are identified with an emotion, your mind goes to a person, you have five thoughts of anxiety, to the second person, five thoughts of reaction, to the third person, five. Calm down your mind. Peace, happiness, and love are hiding behind it. Why you are doing this? Letting anger and the sadness consume you. So your anxiety, your anger, your sadness, your reaction consumes you, leading to the impulsive action. Not only impulsive action, but also it gives you a strained relations. So what happens? The emotional instability, emotional dependence. It hides your inner peace, happiness, and love. This is hiding, it is already there. Why? Again, we say ignorance, mistaking emotions as reality. You know the impact of this. You have to recognize and you have to send back to me after contemplation and reflection for about a week. You have to tell me, do you have these impacts? So identification with an emotions, uh, if it is chronic, it results into mood swings, anxiety, depression, difficulty forming stable relationship. So you have to listen to it again and again and make a note. And after a week, we will discuss identification with the thoughts, a mind trapped in a maze of its own making, unable to find the exit. I don't find the exit route. Oh, you are not taking care of me. My son is not calling me, not taking care of me. I'm fed up with him or her. Are you creating a fiction story in your mind? Can't you live in peace and happiness by yourself? You are living in it. constant rumination on past mistakes or anxieties about the future, leading to stress and anxiety. I discussed that before. So, what happens, it prevents you from living in the present moment, enjoying the simple joys of that life. It prevents your peace, happiness, and love because I mistake emotions as reality. Professional life, personal life, picked up. Now, if you take the identification in the professional life, that is also, I have already recognized, you told me. But it is a very little, subtle level. If it is not, uh, first contemplate, reflect for about a week, and then write to me or send me. And then, or otherwise, we'll discuss. So, identification with the role in the professional life, an actor is so immersed in the role that they forget their true identity. So, my professional life is the role that I perform. That is all. I should not identify myself with that. So, if I define myself solely on the basis of my profession and expertise, I will surely have the anxiety, mood swing, depression. There is no way I can stop it. So, in the professional life, we have an identification with the role, position, etc., and also the identification with the success. A climber, a climber, or a tracker obsessed with the reaching the summit, neglecting the beauty of the journey. Are you understanding what I said? I don't enjoy doing my work, what I'm supposed to do. I know it. I have an expertise. I don't enjoy, but I'm obsessed with their success and appreciation and expectations from what is going to happen. Problem, problem. So I define my success solely by external measures of wealth, status, recognition, appreciation. So what is going to happen? It is going to hide. It hinders intrinsic motivation and genuine state which lives within the peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Identification with the social status. I'm picking up a lot of identification. Why? Because we are going deeper into this journey of self discovery, which I have entitled Peace, Happiness, and Love. So remember, peace, happiness, and love are within you. So we have identification with the social status. Uh, a peacock bird, a peacock male, I would say male, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. A male peacock displaying its feathers to impress others. The female peacock does not have beautiful feathers. So the male always tries to display their feathers to impress the female. But now, if I use this metaphor for all of us, the human beings, so a peacock displaying its feathers to impress others, neglecting the inner beauty, social identification. What happens with that? I seek validation and approval from others, leading to a fear of judgment. You had that. There were three moments you told me, and a superficial approach to relationship. So when you reflect on it, you see, I'm hiding peace, happiness, and love. Did I do this activity clearly? Yes. Did I respond in a right manner? Yes. Uh, did I respond in calmness and peace? Yes. Where is the problem? Problem is, I identify. Validation. Did you validate? And the same thing happens in social life. We identification with our own opinion. That is going to cause a lot of problem. Identification with an echo chamber constantly reinforcing existing belief. Echo chamber is there in the mind. I'm constantly reinforcing existing belief without considering, without being clear. Example you want? Oh, we become rigidly attached to one's opinion, leading to a closed mindedness. Then I stop talking to those people, or I get more attached to those people who validate. What happens? Personal growth, evolution will stop. Result? Mood swing, anxiety, reaction, depression, difficulty building a good relationship with people, family life identifications. I have already covered that. So when we talk of the peace, it is inner stillness and a calmness, a sense of tranquility, and a still lake reflecting the sky clearly. A still lake inside reflect the sky clearly where the joy manifests. It is so that joy is independent of anything outside. A sense of contentment is there, but when you have a peace and the joy further from deeper within you, that unconditional love in the form of a feeling, sensation, and the vision starts manifesting in you, and that is the ultimate of the Eastern wisdom. That is what we say you are totally absorbed into the meditation. A flowing river nourishing everything on its path. So that unconditional love supports the happiness and the peace is like a flowing river. It flows like a river. Sam, you have come. Your mind says, no, you did not talk to me for about a year. No issue. I don't keep your grade. Oh, come on. Welcome. Or the another son or daughter comes who has been nagging you, you still keep your mind with the peace, happiness, and love. Is it possible? 100% possible. Like a flowing river. So the obstacles to the inner this peace, happiness, and love. It's a monkey mind. But why there is a monkey mind? Because there is an identification. Why there is an identification? Because I claim the worth, happiness lies outside. Obstacles to peace, happiness, and love. External focus. I'm keep on my focus is. Will you appreciate me? But if I'm telling you the principle which I have practiced in my life, which I guided the practice to thousands of the people, why I should seek a validation, but rather than I should inspire and motivate you to follow it. Did you get it? So, with your expertise at this state of mental maturity, you should inspire, you should motivate people if they ask you some question pertaining to your expertise. Maybe as a mother, maybe as a, in accounts expertise. I believe you have some. Why in false belief? Peace, happiness, and love. False belief, as long as it is there, it will not. So identifying, I'm identifying. So when I identify, what happens? A restless mind constantly it seeks an external gratification. What is external focus? I'm constantly get worried about small trigger and the stimulus. Oh, why you have come? Now you have come after you. Why should I trigger it? False belief. We discussed about 4 levels of identification, body identification, identifying with the physical appearance and the health, identifying with sensory experience, and position means senses, sound, touch, and mind, identifying with the thought and emotions, and identifying with the role, status, and achievement. These are the 4 levels of identifications. Neutral identification, no problem. You make it personal, you make it professional, you make it social, it is going to cause you anxiety and insecurity, leading to emotional turbulence. It will cause you authenticity. You will lose that peace and happiness. You will start seeking the validation and appreciation from creating a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. That is what I've been talking about. It. I have to understand through my intellect. I have to reflect. Reflect means principles I have understood. I have to apply in my life and check every day how many identifications I lived with today at personal, professional, social, and family level. Your mind will instantly awaken. Oh, such a small problem. The moment you reflect, it is already gone. That is the beauty of. I'm not talking the principle, but I'm just talking the main these factors. Normally, we say it is a viveka, the power of the discernment in the intellect. So, when we understand the root cause of our anxiety, duality, reaction, and suffering, root cause, identification, attachment, emotional dependence, delusion, ignorance, suffering. What includes into suffering? Anxiety, duality, conflict, depression, etc., etc. It's a long list. Fear, low self-esteem. Will continue to face these problems, sufferings from comparison and competition, emotional instability and reactivity, stress, anxiety, and fear, lack of authenticity, a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. I have been saying it, Mangalacharan. The last practice, you should be doing it regularly. Mangalacharan in the mantra, Om Shanti. Or second is listening and learning instead of listening to the other. First, I would say, I'm not against any podcast, but I'm just saying focus on these principles until they become the part and parcel of your mental, emotional, personal, professional, and social life. Once you do that, you listen to other things. No issue. So, listening and learning, then contemplation and reflection, practice, then you sleep. You wake up in the morning, you repeat the same thing. By repeat listening and learning, it is going to change your mind, life, personality, attitude. So, if you become aware and you have that sense of maturity, instantly become aware of the mind is seeking something external for validation, appreciation, or expectation. First thing to that you have to remember, let me look inside myself, leaving the thought and emotions outside, find the peace, wait for the peace to ooze out the happiness, wait until the love manifests. So, in this journey, we are exploring the three core states of our being: peace, happiness, love. Inherent states I can discover, you can discover, we can access, you can access. What are the main obstacles that prevent us from experiencing peace, happiness, and love? Identifications. I've already explained to you. So if you remember this, oh, many levels of identification, many types of identifications, and that is the cause of my stress, anxiety, duality. So you become more alert and attentive in your life and continue the journey. It will help you to get rid of it. How do these obstacles manifest in our daily life? Or you can ask the question that how identifications results into stress, anxiety, depression, and frustration, etc. Disturbed sleep. What exactly we are doing? What is the goal? Goal is to experience peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. When? When all the time. Where? In all the locations. With whom? With everyone. So when you experience peace, happiness, and love in all the locations at all the time, with everyone, it means you have discovered that peace, happiness, and love in you. At the same time, I have to be aware if I am seeking happiness from the material possessions, new clothes, cars, and gadgets, achievements, career, success, social status, and recognition, from pleasures of food, alcohol, drugs, and entertainment, from validation, approval from others, and social media likes, externally. These are the external factors of seeking happiness. What are the internal factors? If I find happiness within me, I appreciate the present moment. I enjoy I enjoy I enjoy happiness even if I'm doing thing if I even if I'm doing a small things. Leave aside your professional expertise. I connect with loved ones. I simply connect without any expectations. If I can help, I will help. What happens? Personal growth. You bring an end to the suffering. It is 100% possible. And if you have a doubt, let me know. Another way to look into it that find out The strongest identifications in your life, in your career, or in your profession, or social at the social level. Oh, mother, why don't you listen to me? Oh, nobody is remembering me. Physical appearance, possessions. What I'm saying that you should recognize the strongest identifications in your life for a week so that you'll be able to understand what are the identifications being repeated every day. And that is the very deeper cause of our anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict, etc., long list. How can I cultivate more awareness of my thoughts, feelings in the present moment? Practice. Mantra all the time. Walking mindfully. You always walk, that I heard. What to do? What to do to drop and dissolve and minimize the reliance on external factors? Peace, happiness, and wisdom. Remind yourself that am I in peace? Yes. Mind and why you are seeking validation of happiness? Yes, inside me. Why you are seeking approval? Well, in some expertise where you are not an expert, you casually ask the question without seeking an appreciation. Is it all right? This is the way I've done it. Joy of doing the professional activities, joy of helping and serving the people, joy of this, joy of welcoming everyone with a smile, not with the idea of an expectations. You will see the life in this week will change. I gave you an example. Think of it here and now. Uh, Imagine a wave identifies itself with the water. It believes the existence depends on its current form. The wave believes existence depends on my current form. We are all waves. So we as a wave keep on thinking that my existence believes on this name and the form. I'm 66 now. When I was 10, does my existence believes on then 10-year-old body, 20 years old body, 30 years, 40 years? No, this is a false belief. So what happens when I have a false belief? I already told you. A simple answer. So identification leads to suffering. And the suffering includes anxiety reaction, ego, and etc., etc. So the wave fears it will cease to exist if it loses its current shape or crashes on the shore. But wave has to crash. The waves in an ocean crashes in a few seconds, but I will crash after a few more years. Why the suffering is that the wave resists the natural ebb. and the flow of the ocean, struggling against the tide. Don't struggle against the tide. Why we struggle against? How? Identification. Identification, attachment, emotional dependence, ignorance, suffering is preventing peace, happiness, and love to manifest in your life. Simple. You recognize these identifications at the four levels and the four types every day before going to sleep. Write it down on the 6 day check. How many identifications are being repeated? We will discuss and talk and understand, and we will get rid of those identifications easily in our life. And the life will become most beautiful with peace, with happiness, with love.